Chris showed up in a full gray suit and a beanie.
I'm posting after all. I don't do a full late night host.
You look like you're about to call the skateboarding finals of in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Chris had to leave the beanie on so we could be sure it's still him.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I can only corporatize so much.
Sorry, you'll have to forgive Chris. He just came home from his GameStop stock meeting.
Yes, you know. I do have serious, like, Wall Street bro energy right now.
Also, for the record,
there we go.
For the record, Ben is drinking non-alcoholic ginger beer again.
Oh,
I bought it.
Lack of professionalism.
Just for the occasion, Jay.
You look like you're about to host a late night game show that is just facts about Jackass.
You know, this is for a bit, but it's a nice suit. I pulled my
it's a nice suit, yeah.
Pulled my actual suit out of the closet. Okay, that's not true. I'm wearing pajama pants. Peek behind the curtain.
My flannel goes to my pajama pants. I look like I just showed up for a wake for Marilyn Manson. Ben looks like he's about to go bowling with his cousin Nico. Okay,
nice. I'm like a quarter of the way through a ginger beer.
That was very aggressive. I'm sorry.
That was very aggressive.
A very not that strong ginger beer. Kind of disappointed.
You look like Matt Murdock at a bar post everybody knowing that he's Daredevil.
That one's good. That's so good.
You look like Bullseye pretending to be Matt Murdock at a bar.
In, like, Massachusetts somewhere. A beanie with a suit. Look like I just had a very important business business meeting for my brewery near Boston.
I'm halfway through a mixed drink and I'm ready to roll.
Hello, and welcome to Star Wars Every Christmas Forever, the only show willing to tell you that thinking Die Hard is a Christmas movie is not a personality trait.
Take my job. Take the regular show.
I've been attacked, and I'm upsetty spaghetti about it.
This week, this year, we watched the Star Wars Christmas special again.
Hey!
And it was a wonderful experience for all. Brought to you by local station 7, Dayton, Ohio. The Star Wars Christmas special.
The only recording left.
The recording we have left. I
humanity.
couldn't find the one with the commercials, so I guess we'll never know what was being advertised during this fucking dumpster fire.
Unless they secretly put it in the Voyager, it's lost to time and space. Any other recordings of this?
So, Jay, how was your watch?
So, okay. So I watched Troll 2 with a couple of friends, including Ben, and someone who will probably get mentioned on the podcast tonight, a couple of weeks ago, and it was fantastic. It's the worst movie ever made, and I had such a fun time watching it. So as much as I bellyached, I went into this watch with like, hey, it might be fun because it's a terrible, terrible, terrible special. I feel like because this happened so quickly, we record it the week of or the week before Christmas, usually the week before, and then I do a quick edit, and then it's up within a week. It's easy to forget it. So watching it is like unlocking core memories that from your childhood that you specifically repressed. The way I would describe this special, it feels like a phylactery or like a Horcrux, or perhaps more accurately a parasite that we return to once a year willingly and takes from us a part of our life essence that we will never get back. You think it's like, you think like it won't be as bad as it is, and then you get to the blackface and the hypno porn and Lumpy and the ruining of Diane and B's careers, not in that order. And then you feel just like a part of you leave. This watch was so bad, about 10 minutes before the ending of my watch, I stood up and I left my house. Right as like the Wookiees are like joining all of space and time, like 10 minutes before, right before Leia's solo number, I just decided that I couldn't be in the house anymore, and I got up and I left, and I went on a 40-minute walk. And I had thanked the Star Wars the Star Wars Holiday Special, because I visited an elderly gentleman that I'm very dear friends with that I haven't seen since before the pandemic. I spent some time with him, and then I went on another 20-minute walk, and then I came home, and then I finished the Star Wars Holiday Special, and it still wasn't the worst thing I watched that week, because I watched Attack of the Clones as well that day. It was fucking awful. But
Jay went on a marathon.
But I had a shower before this, so I had a lot of time to think about my intro. But I am a mixed drink and a half in, and I am ready to fucking roll.
Well, that's just dandy. My next guest, Ben, how was your watch?
I was expecting this. I just did not expect to be put on the spot exactly like that.
I was really hoping you didn't have to follow up whatever was going to escape me there.
My next guest, fresh, known for his various podcast, pod racing mentions and such, Jay forgot to get us the notes on what to credit you with on your appearance here tonight. That's fine. We'll figure it out with the producers. We'll put it in post.
Oh, this is all on you. I didn't do shit this one. This is your show, buddy.
You should really talk to your agent about that. I don't know. I don't book the show. I just host it. Ben, how was your watch?
So I watched this movie about 2 days ago. I text my roommate and I'm like, hey, so I was gonna watch the Star Wars Holiday Special tonight. Do you want to watch? And she goes, yes. I'm like, just so you know, that this special is like an acid trip gone bad. And she's like, yeah, I'm in. And so we get like halfway through, and just full on the face of disassociation is looking me dead in the eye. And I was like, what's the matter, Bree? She's like, this is terrible. And I'm like, but I do this every year, Bree. She's like, you do this every year? She's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it for like 5 years. She goes, 5 years?
4 years before we started the show.
We finally get to the end, and Bree goes. And I just get the only feedback I got that was like solid was I was not properly warned. I was not sufficiently warned for what this was.
I don't know if you can sufficiently warn somebody about this.
No.
I watched the intro with my wife last night as we laid in bed, because I was talking about how I had to do this tomorrow, and she's never seen it intelligently. She's never sat down and watched it with me because, she's smarter than I am. But she got halfway through the intro and was like, "Can you please turn this off?"
And, Can I please point out that as we're talking, Chris is just shuffling between the same 4 pieces of paper?
The same 2 pieces of paper.
How dare you oversell it by...
How dare you oversell my very rigorous notes, all right? And my professional cue cards, my hosting cards. What are these called? I looked for them to see if you could order them online. Jimmy Fallon, hit me up. Where do you find these? Anyway,
Please never say
Um,
Jimmy Fallon hit me up on a
yeah,
podcast
no, I don't know why
that
that's
we
the,
do.
I don't know why that's the first one that I thought of was the worst one. Isn't Conan's show over? Can I take his cards? I can just spray paint and like Sharpie over the logo with ours. Anyway, yeah, my watch was fine. It was actually, I don't know, it was vaguely enjoyable. Again, as I said in one of the episodes leading up to this, I smoke way more weed now than I did last year when I watched this, so it was definitely a lot
I
better.
feel like that's a symptom of this podcast.
I watched it sober and I fucking hate myself.
Listen,
do everything
correlation,
sober.
causation, who's to say? No, it was a good, it was a decent watch. You know, I only have to watch this once a year. It's got its ups and downs.
This podcast, the parents podcast of this called Star Wars Every Week Forever, is just us trying to make each other laugh on a very specific trend. The visual gags that Chris is doing tonight is literally just for us, and they are so involved.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh no, it was good. I particularly enjoyed Jefferson Starship's performance.
I don't think anybody in the world has such a specific reaction to the Jefferson Starship performance as you do.
Listen,
I love that performance.
I'm probably one of the few people in my age range who is like very familiar with Jefferson Starship because, you know, my grandmother loved Jefferson Starship, so I heard them a bit growing up, and so to see Jefferson Starship pop up in this and to think of culturally how big they were at the time that this aired is such a hilarious fucking thing to me. Because like there were parents gathered around the TV with their children watching this who were like, "Oh, Jefferson Starship. I like them. I know them." And then they'd watch this whole special and Jefferson Starship pops up and comes and goes and they're like, "Oh."
It feels like the only thing that I can compare it to, and it's obviously nowhere near as bad as this, is like parents watching this are like parents watching in 1999 the Pokemon the first movie. It's just like such a string of things they cannot understand, that they're just sitting there wondering what's wrong with their child, except in this specific case it cannot be explained what is going on.
I know the way my wife and I interact, so I can only imagine that at one point, like, you know, the kid's dad like leans over to the mom and she's like, "Is that Diane Carroll?"
that is one of the two segments this watch that just made me, my soul left my body watching that this time. Chewie's grandpa rewinds the part where Diane Carroll says, "I adore you," about 8 times, and the look on his face is, here's the thing. I think a lot of people think the grandpa is the most disturbing Wookiee in this. He's not. Lumpy is way worse to me. But specifically in that, Lumpy is fucking horrifying. Lumpy is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which movie, a terrific movie, but the mouths are not good. Lumpy is that on crack.
You know what I actually really appreciated this watch and what I actually genuinely enjoyed, and I'm kind of mad we were robbed and never got more of this character.
I hate that you're talking about genuinely enjoyable things in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Sean Dan, however the hell it's pronounced, like 3 separate ways in this movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Guy.
Yeah. I enjoy that character quite a bit because just like the one-liners, he's like tricking stormtroopers and like it's I don't know. It's the best thing in this special, and it's what I latched onto.
This is just for us. But when I say, "Oh yeah, the shopkeeper guy," Jay got such a face of confusion and then utter contempt.
I think he's the same guy that did the blackface, was what that look was, right?
Yes.
That's my thing. Yeah.
I also learned that because, you know, this year I did a lot more behind the scenes research, and because last year the hosting duties were thrust upon me, and I was thrust into my destiny. But this year I had time to prepare, and I did not know that this is based on a story written by George Lucas. But George Lucas had next to no involvement in this because he hated everything about it.
Yeah.
Like he
That's
apparently
why he
had
buried
like
it.
yeah, he wanted it to more be like an actual full story of like Chewie's family and like all the characters like dealing with, it was going to be more of the actual characters and you were going to get like, a heartwarming holiday tale with the Star Wars characters and shit. It wasn't that though.
And then they were like,
The im-
fuck it, let's put Jefferson Starship and softcore pornography in it.
The impression, I have no idea if this is true. Friend of the show Zins actually sent me a documentary on this special. I did not watch it this year because it mysteriously vanished from the internet, which I'll try to find it another time, but I didn't have time this year.
George Lucas took it out back and fucking Office Spaced it.
Now, granted, I didn't look very hard. There was a link, and it disappeared in the year that has progressed. So I'll look farther next year. But the impression that I got from watching this year was that everything, all of the plans like Jefferson Starship and B. Arthur and all of those things were written out, and then whatever the Wookiee idea was had like 17 rewrites, so that at the end they just framed the Wookiees were only there to frame the rest of the things that they really wanted to happen. And the reason why I feel like that is because none of the segments that happen in this make sense at all anywhere, and it's like every single one is just haphazardly thrown in there in a place where it doesn't make any goddamn sense. The Lumpy watches rebel propaganda while there's a stormtrooper in his
Doesn't make
house
any
threatening
sense.
him with a gun over his shoulder.
Doesn't make any sense.
And also, what the fuck is that box that Lumpy's working on? There's a point in the movie, in the special, I would not call this a movie, I have a hard time calling it a special.
It's feature length.
All feature length this holiday special. That sounded way... No.
Security standby.
There's a point where he's working on like a box that's supposed to be a child's toy, and there's really racist robot guy that comes in, and they just discovered, I guess it's ahead of its time, but still I'm gonna laugh, come close to laughing every time you flip those cards.
You don't know.
Every time you hear a break in one of our like talks, it's Chris flipping through the 2 cue cards he has.
It's at least 80% of the breaks. The other ones are me trying to think. So he has like a children's toy where he puts in a tutorial that sounds like a fucking training video at your work for the most mundane shit that is way too complicated for a little kid. And they never explain what this thing is, but this thing, Lumpy uses it to create a false imperial code to send everybody home. And I was sitting there the entire time just obsessed with whatever the fuck this thing is. Because it's supposed to be a children's toy, but it's supposed to be a piece of machinery that Lumpy needs to understand based on a fucking college course that...
It's supposed to be like a transmitter of some sort, was my understanding.
Right, but it's also... It's all... At the beginning of it, they signify that it's a children's toy. It's the thing that I can't get over.
It strikes me as like baby's first radio transmitter, basically.
Why would someone have baby's first radio transmitter?
It's the Star Wars universe. People are sending radio transmissions and shit all the time. I don't know. Why would an 8-year-old be working on a pod racer and building a robot, Jay?
I hate that you've made a fair point. It's just that what it is not properly explained, and what it is not. It's
Nothing
like
here is properly explained.
Yeah, that's why
I still
I'm going
don't know
nuts.
what
Most
Lumpy
of
was technically supposed to be watching in the living room.
That's
A brain evaporator. The fuck does that
which
even
one?
mean?
Which one is that? Help me.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I said lumpy. Itchy. The thing Itchy watches, it's a brain evaporator. What
It's
the fuck does
hypno.
that mean?
We're not playing that game. It's literally hypno porn. That's what that is. That is softcore hypno porn. And I feel terrible for Diane, but that's what it is. That is what it was designed to be.
I mean,
I guess you could say the Star Wars Holiday Special was innovative because it innovated hypno porn.
yeah, you know. Well, that was
There is a Wikipedia article for the mini
We've
transmitter.
reached the rabbit hole we can't get out of.
There's 2 sentences.
the 2 sentences are just, I don't know, man. We don't know either.
It's the Star Wars Holiday Special. What are the 2
Literally,
sentences?
It was a device to communicate with others while altering the user's natural voice. It is known that at least one particular model was produced in the Amorphii system. And the only thing the Amorphii system is known for.
All right, we're on the subject anyway. I have a couple of quick fire lore questions for you, Ben.
Let's do this.
When does this Star Wars special take place? Because there are points where Luke is way too familiar with Chewie for where he should be between A New Hope and Empire.
2 ABY. So 2 years after episode 4.
Okay, that's much more reasonable because I was under the impression it would be like
Or
1 ABY.
1 ABY, actually.
Still unreasonable. He knows way too much about Chewie's family for the amount of time that he spent with Chewie. Which, you know, he's an Eldritch Horror in this, so for all I know, he turned that 1 year into 1,000. Have you seen his face?
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with his face? I have a lot of questions about how Wookiee technology works, mostly in regards
so
to
do I.
communication and communication and lore. How are there no ships coming in and out of the atmosphere when this is a heavily colonized planet controlled by the Empire? Why is Kashyyyk listed as Wookiee Planet 3? And this is a small thing, but there's a point where an Imperial transmission is coming in and it has that little random numbers and letters code, and it's just XOXO kissy faces. Like the old, before emoji XOXOs. That upset me this time, too. But, like, those are the 3 ones that I went down a rabbit hole, and then I stopped, and I was like, why am I looking to make sense of the Star Wars Holiday Special? And then afterwards I thought, because I have to deal with it every year.
A couple of were just like, Wookiee Planet 3, because we don't have a name for Kashyyyk yet.
Yeah, but Kashyyyk was supposed to be in... Well, I guess you're right.
My question is, how soon after the special aired did Jefferson Starship change their name to just Starship to try to distance themselves from this?
Listen, they were the only ones that walked out of this smelling like flowers. Because at least they put on a decent performance, even if it looked like they were singing Into Purple Dildos.
Listen, that was a choice, all right? That was a choice that someone made.
That was a choice that was not theirs. Fucking Diane Carroll. You had Diane Carroll. What did you decide to do? Make a really uncomfortable scene with an elderly Wookiee whose only facial animation is moving his mouth up and down to make it extremely uncomfortable, as if he's getting off to watching Diane Carroll. So disrespectful to Diane Carroll. Everyone this fucking special touches is killed by it. I had a bad watch.
Sounds like it.
I had to go out and touch grass. You know that thing on Twitter that everybody says? I literally basically went out and touched grass. No, it was on Monday. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only psycho who watched this movie today. And weirdly, one of the better parts of my day.
It was still better than Attack of the Clones.
That's also fair.
I mean, it's not, but I'm just so sick of Attack of the Clones.
Moving on to our next segment here.
Whoa.
We're going to go on to a very, very special holiday-themed AO3 tag.
Oh,
Game.
no.
Now these, normally we give a shout out to our friends over at AO3 tags on Twitter.
At SWAO3 tags on Twitter.
This time I had to do this myself because I had to find holiday-themed AO3 tags, and I didn't find much, but boy, if the ones I found didn't make it worth it.
I'm on this side of this segment for the first time ever. Is it always this horrifying? I'm getting nods.
There's usually a lot of suspense.
Now, again, to remind you, if YouTube algorithms have brought you to this episode and no episode before,
For some ungodly reason.
which, God, you must be confused right now. But if you've made it this far, congratulations. So Show Me That AO3 is a game that we play where this lovely friend of the show,
At SWAO3 tags on Twitter.
you're the only one who remembers it off the dome, Jay. I refer to you on that. They do the job of compiling just, they'll tweet out fanfic tags from the most popular fanfiction website on the internet. And our usual weekly host, Jay, will compile a list of these, and we'll find 4 selections and then make up one selection of her own. This week, I have found 4 holiday-inspired AO3 tags and made up one of my own. So, our 2 wonderful
Jay's pouring
contestants,
herself a fresh one.
our 2 wonderful contestants tonight are playing for. Let's see what
It's
they're
just
playing
time.
We're playing
I'm
for
swimming.
something. Excuse me. There's
for.
prizes.
Screen. Major Merchandise is shaking his head. There's no prize. Anyway.
Wait, Major
I
Merchandise has invaded AO3 tags? No, that was the only pure thing left.
I wanted to.
No, he's hanging out in the back along with Steve, the animal guy, for his segment later. Anyway, we'll get right into the game
Did
here.
Steve Irwin come back from the dead to hang out in the Star Wars Every Christmas Forever?
Do you think I would refer to the great Steve Irwin as Steve, the animal guy?
I don't know, his name's Steve, but he was the animal guy, and it's a talk show, so.
Oh, it's just some dude I found out in the back alley behind Cane's. Anyway, so
Hey, that's a step up from behind the bowling arena.
we'll just start the game. So, number 1. My family is arguing over Christmas turkey, and I'm writing bad Star Wars fanfic. Number 2. Brief references to the Wookiee sex hollows from the Star Wars Holiday Special. Number 3. A Star Wars Christmas Carol, but Darth Vader is the 8-foot murder Santa robot from Futurama. Number 4.
It's all downhill from here.
Number 4. Inspired by my quest for Star Wars tree ornaments. And number 5. Anakin is Space Jesus.
Oh.
The last one's just factual.
I'm going to read these again. I'm going to try to remember the order in which I read them the first time. Number 1. My family is arguing over Christmas turkey, and I'm writing bad Star Wars fanfic. Number 2. Brief reference to the Wookiee sex hollows from the Star Wars Holiday Special. Number 3. A Star Wars Christmas Carol, but Darth Vader is the 8-foot murderer Santa robot from Futurama. Number 4. Inspired by my quest for Star Wars tree ornaments. And number 5. Anakin is Space Jesus. Now a reminder, 4 of these are real, 1 is fake.
I'm gonna go with the Futurama one.
The Futurama one's fake.
I'm going with tree.
That's what I'm going with.
Tree ornaments is your guess, Ben?
Yeah.
Well, the winner this evening is Jay. Got it correct. It started
I
with
had
Christmas
one up.
Carol, but Darth Vader is the 8-foot murder Santa robot from
s-
Futurama was made up by me.
I so bad
I-
thought that was bait. I was like, that's too easy.
I accidentally cheated by beating the AO3 tags person because I knew the first one was real. I knew it. 1000% knew that was real. So I accidentally had a leg up on the competition. I'm sorry, Ben. And I knew the Futurama reference was so you that it's like, my gut tells me.
Yeah, that's I basically the fifth one we always make up, but it really was out of necessity this time because these were basically the only 4 AO3 like Christmas or holiday theme tags I found. So, and Anakin as Space Jesus was a stretch, but yeah, whatever.
I knew there had to be one holiday special reference on AO3 somewhere where they directly said it, so I didn't go with that one. I unfortunately had a leg up on Ben. I'm so sorry. I didn't go looking. It's usually what I do. And yeah, it sounded like you. They all kind of did, but that one especially. It's slightly horrifying, but also a lot of fun to be on this side of the segment. Thank you, Chris.
You're very welcome. You know, happy to please. Now we'll return after these messages from. We once again got no sponsor. Anyway, so continuing the show, I guess.
You can sponsor Star Wars Every Christmas Forever or Star Wars Every Week
you'd like to
Forever just
sponsor
by
either one,
emailing us at Star Wars Every Week or Star Wars Every Week Forever at gmail.com.
You're gonna get at least one email that's just like sponsor these nuts or something.
I'm
that just got-
happy with that. That would be the second best scenario.
Well, here we are, another holiday special in the rear view. Yeah.
It's 2 years in and it's already starting to be real rough.
I love this year's because I could project the pain I feel every year watching this onto someone else.
Yeah, you had a leg up on the rest of us.
I did. I had entertainment.
Ugh.
In a weird way, and I swear I don't mean this derogatorily, I just mean in terms of the way it rolled out. I gotta be real careful in the way that I phrase this. I swear I don't mean this derogatorily. I just mean in the way that the story is made. This holiday special's ending reminded me of The Last Jedi because it's 4 ending segments. It's just, I swear, I don't mean it derogatorily towards The Last Jedi. It's just, it feels like it's going to end, and then it doesn't, and then it feels like it's going to end, and then it doesn't, and then it feels like it's going to end, and it doesn't, and then it ends.
Yeah. And Carrie Fisher just starts singing, and it's like, what? Okay. I mean, sure.
We somehow last year didn't reference the fact that the Wookiees just become one with the universe at the end of one segment. Like, they just literally walk into a supernova and disappear. And that was the point where I literally walked out of my house because it was like, I didn't remember it. And I don't know how we didn't mention it, that the entire Wookiee race just all of a sudden becomes one with the universe.
It is a thing that happens.
There were so many parts, especially there, where like the only things you could hear in my apartment was, "What? What?"
They ascend to
What?
celestial.
And
I
I'm
want to
like,
know
"Yeah, that's-
everything
That's
about.
the appropriate response. Like,
I want everything about how your roommate reacted to this, but I have
that's
like
pretty much
they
it.
ascended. They ascended into a celestial body, and then Leia was like, "No, I need to get my musical number in."
I had to bottle up my laughter so hard at one point because when Itchy's sitting in the hollow chair and there's just a bunch of like
Keep
fractal
talking about this
looking things.
hollow chair.
It's the second most horrifying part of the entire thing.
There's like a 5-minute interlude where it's just nothing but like kaleidoscopes.
And my roommate's sitting there like, oh, so he's just tripping acid. And then the narration starts.
Yeah.
I want to sneak this in here real quick. Blackface happens in this holiday special. I can't stress that enough. I will stress that every year.
The yearly
Because
qualifier of
Yeah.
blackface is a thing in here.
Because the first time I watched the holiday special, that was the point where I was like, okay, this isn't a fun, just like romp through hilarity that I thought it was. This abomination of a segment is she's stir whipping, trying to teach Mala how to do. If you look in the pot, there ain't shit
There's
there.
nothing in there.
She's not even putting the utensils all the way into the pot. She's literally just like barely putting them in and then moving them around.
It's one of those-
Mala,
It's one of those things I hate when like things like do just fake props where it's like you could tell that they're completely empty and there's nothing on them.
Mala, whose actor is in a fucking Wookiee suit, puts them all the way in. But this character's like, nah. This actor's like, nah, I'm not putting it all the way in. No, I will not make it look like I'm
I wanna
actually doing
know.
the thing. But I will fuck up the hair, the fake hair that you so carefully put into my hair.
Ooh, I would like to know. I would love to know who thought it was a good idea in this weird holiday variety show to do a fake cooking segment, because like cooking shows are pretty niche as it is. Like not everyone enjoys watching cooking shows. Who
Especially
thought
in
it was a good idea?
1979.
Who thought people were going to want to watch a fake cooking show where you're not even actually learning how to cook something, or they're even doing anything remotely close to really cooking? Like,
And then for the kids, we'll have a fake tutorial session for a fake thing.
yeah, featuring
I
black.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I
Yeah.
don't know why. It's probably somewhere below an old man getting off to Diane Carroll.
I mean,
So like does the chair just like project whatever he's thinking of, or
No, I want to stay on the blackface
okay,
because we need to spend a significant amount of time on the fact that there is a cooking segment where there's blackface. I want to stay on Chris's point. I just wanted to add the perspective that there is hypno porn in this, and I will continue to call it hypno.
I want to know who the guy in the back of the room was where like they were pitching this segment and they were like, yeah, and we'll paint his face real dark. Someone was like, you're a fucking genius. Absolutely.
Has anybody seen Rocky 2?
no.
Ben,
So
come on. Has Ben seen Rocky 2? Are you
Yeah, he hasn't seen anything. Ben's never seen a
He's
movie.
seen the Star Wars holiday special for 4 years in a fucking row. It's taken up all his time to watch actual movies.
I've never seen the original Rocky movies. I've seen Rocky Balboa, Creed 1, and Creed 2. But I'd never seen Rocky 1 through 5, so I'm watching them recently. And there's a point where the stepbrother / uncle, I can't remember, just like of Rocky's partner, Adrian, is like sitting in a chair at the contract signing of the second fight from the first movie. Like, just not even in the fan group, just like sitting in a really nice, almost mafioso chair, and he decides to speak up. This is how I envision the guy in the writing room for the Star Wars Christmas special. I feel like he was just sitting and throwing things in the corner while everybody else didn't really want to be there, and that's how this thing got made. Just the random, old, gross, racist guy in the corner was just like, what if we did hypno porn? What if we did a cooking segment that featured blackface? And everybody was like, you know what? Let's go with what that guy said so we don't have to spend another fucking minute on this.
Now feels like a great time to read this wonderful quote from the Wikipedia article about this.
It feels real dirty for anybody to read Wikipedia except Ben, but I'm here for it.
No, I would like to read it. This feels like the perfect time to read this quote from the Wikipedia article. This
I
is
have a real bad feeling I know where this is going.
This is a quote from Leonard Rips. in reference to the production of this special.
Good name.
Speaking about George Lucas, the quote is, "I think he," referring to George Lucas, "wanted to make a sweet and sentimental version of a holiday season, and I think it evolved into something maudlin, which was not what I thought his vision was."
Shocks of all shocks.
I also learned that there had been around this, the end of '77, there were a bunch of Star Wars themed variety segments on Donnie and Marie and the Richard Pryor Show, and now I gotta find these.
Are we sure they're just not segments from this? Because that would make so much of this special make
No,
sense.
that was the impetus for this special. Was the networks, and a bunch of CBS apparently suggested a bunch of networks were like scrambling to get George Lucas to make a full holiday special. They wanted to make a full-length variety special, and George Lucas was trying to figure out something to sustain interest going into Empire. Yeah, and then this happened.
And then the holiday special happened.
Here's another hilarious quote from this. The only known bit of material shot but deleted from the final film was an in-cartoon commercial during the animated segment. However, a scene was planned but never shot in which Luke Skywalker sings a song. Hamill claims to have vetoed the idea.
Thank you, Mark Hamill.
No, there's an alternate timeline
Yeah.
where Mark Hamill gets a solo mid-holiday special.
Listen, this special is 1 hour and 40 minutes that feels like 4.5 hours. I'm happy that Mark Hamill vetoed it.
I would like to read another segment about shooting this nightmare of a special. So filming began in August of 1978. The special was shot mostly on videotape with a budget of about $1 million. The cantina sequence took an entire day to film, from 6 a.m. one day to 6 a.m. the next. The costumed actors withstood heat, claustrophobia, and, for some, low oxygen intake. When B. Arthur's
Someone
son
took George Lucas's notes. They're like, just lower the oxygen.
Okay, let's take away their food. They're still alive. Okay, great. Let's take away their water. Still going. Okay, let's turn down the oxygen level.
When B. Arthur's son, Daniel Sachs, visited the set, he saw a nurse running around feeding oxygen into the various aliens to make sure they didn't pass out.
That was such a series of events that struck me. But I feel the need. I facepalmed and just disappeared from the video call for a second there, because I heard the words $1 million.
Yeah.
Also,
In 1978,
Yeah.
and I just thought of all of the good things that
There
could have
are-
been done with $1 million in 1978, which would probably be $1 billion today.
there are two more brilliant pieces of information at the very end of the section I was just reading, one of which being the director suggesting then unknown comedian Robin Williams for a role.
Thank God we made sure Robin Williams wasn't in this.
And the part of Murmia, I believe is how it's pronounced, the part that Diane Carroll plays, Cher was the original choice. Another brilliant quote is the director going, "When I saw the script, I saw the first 10 minutes with the Chewbacca family was just in subtitles. I thought, uh-oh, we're going to be in trouble." Lucas apparently gave them a binder, a Wookiee Bible, which contained all the information he had developed on the species.
we got in my household, we got a good 15 minutes in, and I look my roommate dead in the eye as we're halfway through Mala and Lumpy yelling at each other in Sherwook. And I'm just like, well, get cozy, this is the next hour and a half. And they look at me, just, no.
Apparently, Carrie Fisher was eager to sing for the scene at the end because quote from somebody, whoever the fuck, who the hell knows. She was going through her Joni Mitchell period. She very much wanted to show the side of her talent.
Well,
Which just wow. It was
Talk
shot.
about putting a positive spin on it.
Apparently, this whole shoot was just a month. It was a month-long shoot.
Too long.
And then the director was unable to edit the film like his other productions because he had a scheduling conflict. So the special was edited by the producers who had no prior experience in editing.
I want to throw out there something that caught me this watch.
Can I give you something real quick, Jay, before we get too far away from it?
No, I'm not going too far, but go ahead.
I ran the numbers.
I really wish you hadn't.
In 2021,
What numbers?
$1 million in 1978
Oh, fuck.
is worth $4,263,000 and $6 or $6
Or million or billion?
or million. So
My heart hurts.
it's worth. We're at about more than four times that amount.
If I don't move on from that figure, I'm just gonna be sad the rest of the episode, and it's really gonna ruin my buzz. So
Well, hey, it seems like a good time for our next segment. So it's time for Merch Corner, a very special holiday.
okay, he's not here.
Jay does a quick fucking paranoid like, where is he? Where is he? He's coming for
Too
me.
many. See,
No, yeah.
the problem Major Merchandise is very aggressive when he wants to promote
not
something.
going
So I had
back.
to make sure he
I'm
wasn't
not
in the
going
room.
back.
Just there we go. Thank you. Yep. I have.
Why is he so nice to you?
Well, we're on. We're broadcasting here, and we're on television. Let's see here. What? All right.
Put us
So
on television.
welcome to Merch Corner, where we dive headfirst into the farthest reaches of the galaxy, or the internet in this case, to find just some batshit Star Wars merch. And this is our holiday themed episode. We'll do 4 items actually. I'm gonna have Jay present the first here. Jay, if you'd like to start
Yeah,
us
I
off
did.
and present. Oh, it's what you've come here to promote. I understand. You'd like to promote this wonderful piece of merchandise.
I mean, if you'd like to say a physical letter that I got that had a Riddler style a message on it that said, "Promote this on the Star Wars Christmas special, or
Please,
else."
please, Jay, Mr. the Riddler.
Then,
Get this
Mr. the
back.
Riddler. This is a small thing. It's not as big as whatever Chris has planned, but something terrible happened this year. I mean, a lot of terrible things happened this year, but in terms of Star Wars merch, something terrible happened this year. And I'm sending it to the group chat right now.
Oh, you're
Has
talking
Ben
about. I
found
think
it?
it's wonderful.
Hey, Ben, what are you looking at right now?
So we got this fucking cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those cups that comes with the straw and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just motherfucking Chewbacca. Just stand there with a little fucking smile on his face in the red fucking robes with his like fucking soul orb in his hands.
Where is Chewbacca in the red robe from, Ben?
Chewbacca is standing there, staring into my soul in front of the Millennium Falcon at the fucking, like, the way it's drawn, it's like he's standing in front of it as it is at the Disney park.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the
Mhm.
barricade in front of it and everything.
So what is this merch from, Ben?
This is from Fucking Disney shop.
This no. This is official Star Wars Holiday Special merch.
Well, but
Yeah.
here's the
released
wonderful
in the
thing
year
about
of
this.
our Anakin Skywalker 2021.
Here's the wonderful thing about this.
Oh my
Nowhere
God.
in the description to this does it mention the holiday special, even a little bit.
But it still is
No, no.
exactly from
But
the Star Wars
that
Holiday Special.
that makes it funnier to me because they're still not acknowledging the holiday special, even while making merchandise for it.
Yeah.
Wonder if it has
Yeah.
something to do with the hypno porn, Disney.
There's also a mug, and the mug has more of the Millennium Falcon on it.
It is the same amount. It's just more wrapped around on the cup.
And it has also the words "walk off into the stars," a la them joining, becoming one with the universe in the fucking Star Wars Holiday Special. It's an abomination.
Yeah, it's
Uh-oh.
might buy one of these cups.
I really wish you wouldn't.
This cup has 8 reviews, all of them 5-star.
Listen, those 8 people who bought this fucking tumbler love it. George Lucas has just been buying all of these and burying them in a hole in the desert in New Mexico. That's what George Lucas is doing with his fortune. He's just buying up all of the Star Wars holiday special merch.
Steven Spielberg told George Lucas about the E.T. cartridges being buried in the desert, and George Lucas has dealt with everything he doesn't want since in the same way.
This one reviewer is praising it for how different it is.
Hey,
I
it's
Ah,
love
different.
this
They're not wrong.
design. It's so different.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
Not technically wrong.
Big Tinder vibes. I appreciate it, review.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna do these next 3 in order of which ones I am least likely to buy to most likely to buy. So we'll start with least likely to buy first. I'm gonna post this in our Discord chat. Here's
No.
Oh, that's just sad.
Oh,
And
That
now
just
not
makes
all-
me sad.
Now, not all of these are officially licensed Star Wars merchandise per se, but they are all holiday related.
That's just depressing.
What explain to the folks at home what we're looking at here.
So
It's your turn, Jay.
I'm trying to get a larger image because I can't tell who the guy on the far right is.
Oh, that works out nicely if we're going in this order for you two explaining things. That works nicely for the next 2
no.
items.
Oh no. It's Palpatine, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. So this is Darth Vader, Palpatine, Darth Maul, and Kylo Ren all together in the Bohemian Rhapsody pose, wearing in black and white except Darth Maul's face, which has some red in it, wearing Christmas hats with Imperial logos in the back that are supposed to look like snowflakes, and it says Merry Sithmas. And it comes in a shirt, and it comes in a long sleeve shirt, and it comes in a hoodie.
It's on one
And
of those
I can't-
websites where, if I understand it correctly, you can just put this on whatever the fuck you want. You can get on like coffee mugs and notebooks and shit.
If I saw someone in real life wearing this, I think they would notice the disappointment in my face.
It's fair. That's fair. It's it's a lovely design. Someone
Sure.
worked really hard on this for some reason.
For some reason. I don't even have words for this. It just makes me sad.
Well, it's all right, Ben. Save your words for this next item.
I don't know.
Hold
if I'm-
on, before we move on, I need to read this first sentence.
Oh no.
It is cyclic, hence a doubly serious concern globally. Let me cut to the
insert, or realistically, really rather excerpt merch name here.
Additionally, I will love this chase with the reasons on why poor people produce more children than they can afford to raise. I will not.
Cut the feed, Gary, cut the feed.
I can't read any more of this, but this is all in the description of this merch. What
I didn't see this beforehand. Hold
What
on, what?
happened? In the description of this merch, this guy just goes off on a fucking racist, sexist fucking rant.
I didn't see this beforehand. I don't think this was like this beforehand.
I'm gonna pass out.
The producers of this show in no way.
We gotta cut all this.
We're gonna have to cut this one.
We might have to cut this as well, but there's a second description.
That's why I
No.
said there's more. It keeps going.
So we had to cut a significant amount, probably 7 or 8 minutes.
Of whatever the fuck just happened.
Because apparently between when Chris planned this segment and when we read it, somebody hacked or read, or maybe it was there all along, or maybe they just had a weird day and decided to be the worst human on the planet. But the entire description is just a racist, sexist rant, and we can't show any of it. But we should probably say outright, this is on a Mary Sithmas shirt. What happened with this person? Where did your life go wrong? And where are you now so I can punch you in the face? But mostly, where did your life go wrong?
This show's going off the rails. This first entry and this batch of major merchandise has made me go full Cody Johnson at this point. I don't know.
It's not your fault, Chris. I don't know.
Is it hot in here?
It's hot.
Whew. Moving right along. We're gonna move on to item number 2 of
I'm scared.
weird Mary Wikipedia. Let me
It's all
double
gotta
check.
be downhill from there,
Me-
right?
Let me double check these fucking items.
Descriptions.
Oh, these are from Amazon. Daddy Bezos ain't gonna let that happen. This is safe. We're good.
We'll cut his bottom dollar up.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna move on to well, I'm glad I put that one in at the number 1 spot of least likely to purchase, because oh boy.
I keep this bottle of whiskey in a sock drawer, and somehow it's still cold enough to
Jay's
bring me
just
down from whatever
got
that
off
was.
the liquor on her forehead. I look like I've aged 30 years in the last 5 minutes.
You kinda do. We all do.
We're gonna move along to item number 2.
Oh.
Whose job was it? This was on
Oh!
Ben, right? Describe this one.
Mary be with you. A beautiful, lovely, a holiday Star Wars themed throw rug with all your favorites, your Princess Leia, your Han Solo, your Chewbacca, and your Luke Skywalker all standing there with their mouths just open in the weirdest, and I mean the weirdest snapshot of their faces ever. And they're holding those little red Christmas Carol pamphlets, and it's jolly and gives me much discomfort.
It's the heroes of Star Wars Christmas caroling, you know? It's a lovely. But what is the item? Explain
It's
to
a
the
throw
folks at
rug.
home. It is it can be ordered in multiple sizes, I believe. It is described as a throw rug or tapestry as well. You know, in case you want to put this on your wall. You know, some people have already spoken about an office that needs some furnishings and perhaps some tapestries on the wall.
This hurt my brain.
You need to stop seeing bad merch and then deciding you're going to put it on your wall. That needs to stop.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. These fucking cue cards. The show's going off the rails. Everything's going rattled to my core.
I think we're all still stuck in a low.
Rattled to my fucking core.
To be fair to you, Chris, I would have missed this as well.
Whew. Well, there was that lovely holiday themed tapestry.
So I hate
cleanser, if
this
you could.
tapestry quite a lot, actually. I hate it so much. And you want to know why I hate it? Because it's a really vapid way to hate it. But I hate how wide open Luke and Leia's mouths are.
That's what I'm saying. It's like uncomfortable, the position they're in.
Also, like, look at Luke's face. His one eye is so far below his other eye that it might as well be like caricature art.
What they did was they took the still from when they're on the Death Star when he's yelling no as Ben dies. They took that still and put it here.
Oh my God, you're right. That's what that is.
That's where that shot's from.
I mean, I will say, I'll give them the credit because whoever made this chose a great still of Harrison Ford because he looks as uncomfortable as I imagine Harrison Ford would be in this scenario.
He looks as bored as Harrison Ford is in most scenes in Star Wars.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We're going to go to item number 3, and this is the one that I'm most excited about and the one that I will likely actually be purchasing.
You should not purchase anything from me.
Our chat as well. I was very excited to find this one.
Hallmark, why? Hallmark, why?
It's always Hallmark. It's always Hallmark. Hallmark is always the one.
It is cyclical. It always comes back to Hallmark.
It always comes back to Hallmark. I'm disappointed that this is the Christmas special and we can't name the episode. It always comes back to Hallmark because it does.
Jay, would you like to describe to the lovely folks at home what we're looking at here?
I really wouldn't. So this is Darth Vader choking a dude. Except instead of the way it happens in A New Hope, this gentleman is sitting in a 2005 office chair.
Like the really uncomfortable plastic-looking ones.
And he's holding his throat, except instead of instead of two of his fingers being like pulled inwards to like motion to his throat, they're just not there. Or rather, there's lumps there that are meant to signify them, but they are absolutely not fingers, and they're actually all in one form, as if he has 4 fingers.
Important note: have we mentioned what this item is yet.
I'm specifically describing it. I'm getting there. And then there's Darth Vader, and Darth Vader looks fine. He's standing over him. You know, Darth Vader looks fine, except for the fact that this is a Christmas ornament. So Darth Vader just has a hook coming out of the middle of his forehead, which is the thing that caught me. Also, it should be mentioned, the guy that Darth Vader is choking out has no eyes. He just doesn't have eyes. He has eyebrows. He has a mouth. He has hair and a receding hairline, but he has no eyes.
Well, to be fair, his eyes are probably shut.
No, they just are non-existent here. They saw that his eyes would be shut, and they decided, how about we just put no effort into the eyes then? So they put a little bit of red where the eyes should be, and that was it, my dude.
I personally think this is a wonderful ornament. Oh, there's only one left in stock.
Oh
Shit,
my god.
I gotta order that.
Oh my god. Jake, click the video.
It missed. Y'all missed the fact that it has sound, much like a pizza cutter. It has sound.
It's literally. It's the scene where fucking Marty's there, like, this is the ultimate power in the universe, and Darth Vader's like, shut the fuck up, nerd.
Yeah, that was just the picture of the ornament with the audio from the I find your lack of faith disturbing thing. And I was so disgusted I took a shot directly out of the bottle. So you're buying this, Chris?
I might buy this. There's only one left in stock. There's no time to lose.
Is there any way I can dissuade you from buying this? You have already given me the answer by your silence.
Chris has a look of longing in his eye.
Gary, cancel the order.
Am I gonna have to make Gary a regular part of the show? I want to the big thing I wanted to make sure we mention is that last year we mentioned that Kenny Baker wasn't mentioned in the R2-D2 credits.
Correct.
None of the Wookiees are mentioned in the credits. And I think that's a blessing in disguise to whoever was under the Wookiee makeup. Like, none of them were mentioned. And I can't tell if that was a blessing that they accidentally did, in the same way that they did R2-D2, or if it was them specifically deciding. And if so, credit to them.
I wonder if they were sitting there like, please just, like, they were at the final showing and they were like, yeah, we can make a couple of little adjustments here and there, and they were just all like, all the Wookiee actors was like, please, could you just, I appreciate the effort, but just take my name, just erase that shit, just get that shit as far away from this project
I'm
as
deeply ashamed to
humanly
be
possible.
here. I'm deeply ashamed to be here, and I would like to be excluded from what we have created.
The person that I didn't remember the quote from earlier about Carrie Fisher, was from Bruce Valanche, who worked on this.
Why do I know that name?
He is I don't know what his actual particular role is. I believe he's like a director or producer, but he's very, very well known in like Hollywood. Like, he's a pretty big deal.
Bruce Valanche was in the Star Wars Holiday Special?
No, he helped create the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, fuck you, Bruce Valanche. You let this shit happen?
I only realized this because I'm in the legacy part of the Wikipedia article, and the top quote is from Bruce Valanche. The quote is, "There's never been anything else like it. This thing has lingered largely because the Star Wars franchise has endured through generations of kids who discovered it on video and grew up to see the new movies in theaters. Somewhere in there, the internet came along and they discovered this bizarre hybrid, whatever it is."
Bruce Valanche has the greatest description of how this fucking thing happened possible.
That is the nicest possible way to honestly talk about this.
In
Yeah.
a commercial for the 2007 Robot Chicken Star Wars, an animated George Lucas, voiced by Lucas himself, sees a therapist over his hatred for the special.
I've seen the segment, yeah. It's included in the original trilogy spoofs.
I never realized that was actually George Lucas.
hmm George Lucas did most of the Robot Chicken George Lucas bits.
That makes it so much better.
Oh my god.
This is probably cruel, but I need to get it out there. I had there's a gymnastics routine that we've never mentioned in this special. Like early on, there's a weird thing that is watched by the Eldritch Horror.
Itchy.
Itchy. No, not Itchy. Itchy is nowhere near as bad. Itchy only has one face. Chewie's son, meanwhile. So there's a segment that's just gymnastics, and it's very Star Trek-esque, and I'm not dissing Star Trek, but it feels like Next Generation. But there's a point where they do the thing where somebody has themselves up and holding another person up in, I don't know how else to put it, but a 69 position, and then they lean forward and the other person takes over and holds them up, and they do that. I was struck with the realization that maybe these people never did anything else in Hollywood, so they went home and they were like, my big break in Hollywood was 69ing all over the Star Wars holiday special. And I was just sad at that realization that somebody might be out there saying, that was my big break in Hollywood.
I didn't know.
I'd be proud of that.
According to this article, this Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that they're doing next year in December of
I hate this
2022 was apparently James Gunn was inspired by the infamous Star Wars holiday special, which he unironically loved as a kid, and that's the most James Gunn thing I've ever fucking heard in my life.
James Gunn, please stop. Please stop.
Yeah. Please stop. No, I've been sitting here stunned for 3 minutes with my mouth agape staring at Wikipedia. Because this special was screened at the Library of Congress in the 1990s.
Why? For what? What was the context to this?
I don't know. That's all that's on the Wikipedia article. So normally we save this wonderful segment for the ends of rotations, but I thought as a wonderful Christmas gift to friend of the show Zins.
Ben is so mad.
Ben, buddy, do you want to do a weird Wikipedia for us?
So weird Wikipedia is a bit where Ben just clicks random on Wikipedia from the Star Wars Every Week Forever podcast.
Let's roll this fucking slot machine.
It's friend of the show Zins' favorite segment, so I figured as a nice Christmas gift, what did we get? Ben just almost fell out of his chair.
We got. Today on Weird Wikipedia, we have Seth, parentheses, smuggler.
Stop everything. Stop everything. I need to put a lot of description into what the fuck just happened. So 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't know, I'm drunk. Ben and his roommate and me watched Troll 2, and Ben decided that the grandpa from Troll 2 was God because he has weird powers. And I woke up the next day and he was talking about Grandpa Seth. And I said, you need to stop doing this because the way you are, you will actualize it. And Grandpa Seth has become an actual thing he worships.
Aside.
Unironically. So now we have glorified this decision that Ben has made with weird Wikipedia.
Smuggler too.
With weird Wikipedia.
Seth was an NPC in the 2003 video game Star Wars Galaxy Empire Divided, an MMO role-playing game developed by Sony Online Entertainment and published by LucasArts.
I
Prior
know
to
this
exposure.
fucker.
2011. That's the entire article.
Friend of the show,
Okay,
Zins,
nice.
will be very happy with his mutton chops.
Nice.
Oh yeah, he's got some styling mutton chops.
A nice succinct weird Wikipedia to cap off this wonderful episode that we've had about the Star Wars holiday special, which I don't know how much of we actually talked about.
Today was a This episode was a roller coaster, my friends.
Well, we lost about 10 minutes because of some fucking dude.
That's all right. Listen,
Because of a disgruntled piece of shit.
listen. That's live TV, baby. It's unpredictable. You can never predict.
Shuffling cards again.
You can never predict what's gonna go on. That's why I got these cue cards to help me out, Or so, all in all, how do we feel about this wonderful yearly tradition that we're on year 2 of?
The weird
It's terrible and I hate it.
the weird part of this Wikipedia is I earlier thought, because Chris was like, yeah, I'm bringing a bunch of bits in. Part of me was sitting here like 15 minutes before Chris said anything about Wikipedia. And I was like, I wonder if Chris is going to do a weird Wikipedia. And 10 minutes later, he's like, Ben, if you would.
Well, yes, because even though I'm the host, I can't, that's your bit, man. We gotta.
I was just very
Nobody
caught
can
off guard.
present weird Wikipedia other than Ben.
Ben, it's gotta be Ben.
It's got to be Ben. It's always Ben. Except for if there's ever an episode that Ben hosts, then it has to be somebody else. That just feels right.
The Star Wars Holiday Special is something I actually really, really, really don't look forward to. It's not because of these recordings, because these recordings, every recording we do for Star Wars Every Week Forever feels like therapy, where we're just trying to make each other laugh. The Star Wars Christmas Special especially feels like that, because we have experienced something so fucking ridiculous that it's just us trying to get this shit out and ignore the fact that we were just assaulted mentally and we need brain bleach.
I still really enjoyed it this year. I don't know.
I know you did. I know
It's
you
just-
did, and I don't get it.
Really high, so it makes it better.
There you go. I watched it sober. I'm very drunk now, but I
Why
watched
you
it
never
sober.
do that? I don't know who would ever watch this sober.
It was 11 o'clock in the morning.
I have an answer to your question there, Chris.
Yeah, you're straight edge.
I
so-
would. About 6 years in a row.
I think I watched this at like 9:30 this morning.
That's fair.
Just, got a nice wake and bake going on with my coffee, and I put this fucking thing on.
Point is,
Fucking thing.
Star Wars Holiday Special is a goddamn nightmare. But more than any of the other episodes that are all just like terrible community theater improv group, this is the episode where I truly vent therapy. Because we have experienced something so fucking awful that we need each other to get through it. And I would like to thank Chris specifically for getting us through it in his Matt Murdock cosplay.
It's really devolved into Cody Johnson at this point.
You do look like Cody Johnson.
That's what one Star Wars holiday special will do to you. It's like 3 years of covering actual news. That's I've aged 5 years this evening. But so it's Christmas. It's it's the holiday season for those who don't celebrate Christmas. That's we do this stupid silly show, and I'm sure it seems like we're all just devolving into fucking complete madness, but it's been another wonderful year, and I love you two very much. Thank you.
I love you so much, Chris. I love you, Ben.
Thank you for going on this horrifying journey with me. Jay, thank you for suggesting this fucking podcast.
I want to, real quick for the record, I did extra homework this year because I'm now yearly watching also the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Why
We
do you
didn't
do
touch
this,
on that
Ben?
fucking thing.
We,
I was hoping
we
you'd
had
ask Jay, because
We-
the
we had
answer,
such a nice
the
out, Ben.
answer is a pilot.
Chris brought up heartfelt
Thank you all.
feelings, and you want to talk about the Lego Star Wars special.
Lego-
I'm
mean, you
sorry,
couldn't
it's so much better than the Star Wars
couldn't
Holiday
have been a
special.
more
But
appropriate way for Ben to talk about his feelings in
Derail.
Lego Star Wars.
us loving on each other.
But yes, you know, from us here at Star Wars Every Week Forever, and Star Wars Every Christmas Forever.
Love you all.
Happy holidays. We love you all. Thank you very much for sitting through this and
And I'm sorry for
and
having to sit through this, you all.
so sorry for this. Good night. We love you all.
Absols. Love you all.
Love you all. Good night. These cue cards are blank.